Welcome back. There's the beautiful beaches of Southern California there as people are out enjoying the beautiful weather down this way this time of year. But of course, we are here in Santa Ana, California to celebrate esports in the first 2v2 major Rocket League tournament. And the grand finals are happening today, of course. By the end of today, we will find out our champion and who walks home with that $32,500 first prize. And of course, the all-important trophy that we'll be showing here in just a bit. So that was a very interesting first match, but we want to take a look at our first two teams here that are coming up next. We have Method, of course, here, as you guys can see, the team that comes from Finland. And the word that we've been using to describe these guys over their matches has been systematic. They play a very defensive and slower brand of play, and that's a bit of contrast from what we might see from the rest of this tournament up to this point. And of course, on the other side, we have FlipSid Tactics. These are guys that have been predicted to be one of the favorites to win the entire thing. We've heard in post-game interviews consistently that everyone expects them to do very well, and even after the last interviews, we heard they might even be favorites going into this round. Cooks here, Mark Duda, of course, have played quite a tournament up to this point. They've already unseated some of the best teams, probably are the reason that Cloud9 got knocked out of the entire event by tilting them off the face of the planet with overtime wins yesterday. So very interesting stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at how the teams got here to this point, though. As we can see, Method qualifying from the European Invitational, but they have 4-0'd their way through the tournament up to this point by defeating Ghost 2-0 and then Sizzle Your Cobb 2-0 as well. They are currently the only team left in the tournament to not lose a game. On the other side, FlipSid Tactics, they of course were the runners-up in the European Invitational, where they've lost to Gale Force Esports at that point. They've defeated Renegades 2-0. They've defeated Cloud9 2-1. And as we mentioned, that was a pretty crazy match that we saw yesterday between them going overtime pretty much the entire distance there. We have our analysts on the desk with us. It's going to be Quinn Lobdell. It's going to be Jorby. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us. So let's take a look at this match coming up here. I'm going to start with you, Jorby, because you kind of let me know in the break that FlipSid is going to make Method play aggressive. Tell me about that. Why do you think that?
Well, I mean, FlipSid, over everybody that Method has played so far, they've played Method 1,000 times. Metsonaris and Magnus, they know how these guys play. They know how to beat them. And Method, not only have they not dropped a game, they haven't allowed a single goal. And no other team in this tournament has done that so far. It might only take FlipSid to score one goal to really start to break down Magnus and Metsonaris and make them feel a little sweat. So I'm going to agree with the fact that FlipSid here definitely can take out this Method team. I mean, we actually look at across all the teams in the Universal Open, FlipSid is the only team with both players being world champions. So, I mean, that hasn't really been emphasized a lot. This FlipSid roster is no joke. But Method here, I think that they are a little stronger than maybe Jorby will be giving them credit. They didn't concede a goal, I think, against Sizzle Your Cobb. That's incredible considering the performance Sizzle Your Cobb was having. So I think Method is going to be forcing or punishing a lot of overcommits from FlipSid, etc. I think FlipSid are going to have a very strong passing game and no overcommits on defense if they want to take out Method. Okay, fair enough. Well, actually, let's walk you guys through the brackets once again and let you know how all these teams got here, because we do know that Gale Force Esports has advanced past Step G. They are now into the upper bracket finals. The winner of this match, of course, will be in the upper bracket finals to face off against them. The winner of that match gets that all-important 1-0 advantage in the grand finals. But let's go game by game now and actually show you guys some of the highlights that we saw over the past couple of days. And we started things off with a bang, with G2 going down to Ambition. They are actually out of this tournament so far. I actually want to get a couple of quick thoughts from you guys here. Quinn, let's start with you on this one. Why is it that some of these North American powerhouse teams seem to be going down to bubble squads like this? I mean, I'm not sure if it's just them underestimating those bubble squads, but those bubble squads really fighting for this. And we know that G2, especially with all their sudden roster swaps, that wasn't exactly the roster they had like going for them. And they should know, not only are they a bubble team, but they've been having a lot of success lately. A lot of these bubble teams really were just not yet known, not really household names yet, but gonna be them soon. Okay, fair enough. And so, Jorby, I want to follow up with you on this one, because it seems like the bubble teams from NA are actually outdoing a lot of the big squads in 2v2. Cloud9, G2 already out. We still got a couple of the bubble squads hanging around. Anything to that, or just kind of luck of the draw here? I think it's just a matter of maybe not necessarily recognizing the talent that these bubble teams have, especially Prime Thunder and Wonder, and also Chicago and Hato in Fabian and Ambition. They're getting to that top tier of play, and Pride Thunder and Wonder specifically, those two together have played twos for so long, so they had that twos experience coming into this tournament.
Yeah, and you mentioned Fibion, and I just want to take a quick second to talk about them. I know I've been talking a lot about them, but we talk about surprise teams that have really shown us something.
Talking about them. They're incredible.
Absolutely right. So this is a team, very young players, 16 years old. They are now actually out of the tournament. They did lose to Sizzler Cobb in the lower bracket, but they defeated Cloud9. They walked through the lower bracket and some mega teams that were there. These guys are no joke, and I think they have a serious history ahead of them.
Well, anybody who plays in the competitive scene will know Chicago and Hato. Those guys have been playing for a while, especially Chicago. That guy is a beast of a player, and he's been kind of taking Hato underneath his wing and helping him improve, if you will, kind of training, camping up. And so those guys, I mean, I think that coming to this tournament, people will now seriously give him respect. As RLCS quality, he's a top team. These guys are some of the best in the world.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So, okay, Jovi, I want to throw this back to you because I'm curious, now that we've had so many of these sledgehammer European teams come through, what does North America need to do to strike back against them?
I mean, you have to really look at what Dapper and Garrett tried to do against Galeforce, and Galeforce still the clear favorite in this tournament. Just continue to play the game that they did. Dapper and Garrett really still coming together, putting together some great team plays, tight rotations. I really think that it's going to take that. Unfortunately for them, they got in the way of K-Dop and Violent Panda, and K-Dop has really looked like he's turned it on today, and that was going to be the key for Galeforce, and it's going to be really hard to get rid of the best player in the world, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So they just took like 3 rounds to warm up, but now Galeforce is here, and they look like championship contenders.
It took a while, but they're finally here.
Okay, fair enough. So let's talk about potential surprises that are still left in the bracket, though. We've got teams like Sizzler Cobb that we know Wave is really up on at the moment, but who are you looking from the lower bracket potentially, Quinn, to make an upset here in these later rounds?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure here. Seeing Cloud9 go out, that was going to be the team that I was really banking on coming through in the losers bracket all the way to the finals. That's something that you typically see. I'm gonna, you know, really, I don't know how to answer that question. I'm not sure.
I know, that's fine, because we've seen so many weird results that it just seems like those European teams are doing so well. Let's look at the lower brackets right here so we can see how teams were defeated. G2, of course, defeated Incognito 2-0, but then lost to Sizzler Cobb 2-1, so G2 is knocked out in the second round of the lower bracket. Same can be said of Cloud9. Fibion takes them out 2-0 before losing to Sizzler Cobb in the next round, as DapG has just fallen from the upper bracket. Sizzler Cobb and DapG. That's going to be a great match, but we're eliminating a North American team guaranteed out of that.
Well, especially because DapG and Sizzler Cobb, there's 2 teammates there with Dapper, not Dapper, sorry, Garrett G, and also, who am I thinking of? Garrett G and Jacob, sorry.
Yeah.
I know, sorry, Jacob, wherever you are.
You mean
they're teammates.
Sizz and Jacob.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying on NRG.
Yeah.
They're teammates on the same team playing
yeah.
against each other. Sizzler Cobb versus DapG.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's going to be a little bit fun seeing how
that's true.
they understand
Yeah.
each other's playstyles more than your typical opponent, because they play together in 3v3 all the time.
And we've seen so many of these unholy alliances so far anyway between teams. It's been kind of fun. And it looks like our teams are actually ready to start the game right now, so we're going to throw it up to Corelli and Jamesbot for the call.
Things off here. It's Method taking on FlipSid. Marky rocking the backfire once more. Make some noise in the stadium here.
The smack fire, Corelli.
I'll get it right eventually. Magnus pushed this one down. Now back to his side. Magnus again. Metsanaris up for this, trying to drop it down off the backboard. The follow from Magnus goes off the crossbar. And now Marky in a 1v1 opportunity here. Slows it down, lets Magnus come back in for it.
And already we saw an opportunity out of the gate for Method. It was just a shot too high, but it was very dangerous.
And we've seen FlipSid have some slow starts in their 3v3 team and in this 2v2 tournament against Cloud9. They do prevail in the end, though. Magnus fires off a shot off the post. They're just hitting everything on the woodwork right now. Metsanaris trying to keep this attack alive, and he does. He's done well here. Can he put it away? Marky makes the save.
FlipSid is doing everything they can to keep this ball out of the net. They're barely hanging on it.
The Method squad here is just all over FlipSid. Magnus picking up the mid boost. This ball back to Metsanaris, popping this one high. Marky, the clear back to Method's side. Magnus, the long clear back to FlipSid. Magnus trying to put this one away. The follow-up from Metsanaris is there, and there's your first goal. Method, 1-0.
You see Cooks, he was in the corner. He tried to steal the boost to prevent him from going for it. Cooks was not expecting Magnus to just go straight for that ball, and Magnus puts it off the sidewall out into the middle for Mets, and they clean it up, still holding their opponent scoreless, and they go up 1-0.
You got to think after all that pressure, they were going to get one, and they finally do. Method 1-0 here in this best of 3. Magnus off his own back wall. Both Method's players back in their own net, just waiting the attack from FlipSid. Here's Magnus. A boomer over Cuxier's head. It's Marky in his own corner now. Marky trying to play this one out. Both of the FlipSid boys go for that one, and Metsanaris gives it up in the middle. Cuxier dunks that one away. Now it's a 2v1 for FlipSid. The shot off the crossbar. Follow up from Marky. It's tied up.
And up until this point, Method have not allowed a goal. This is the first time they've been scored on in this tournament, and it's Marky Duda who makes it happen after Metsanaris missed his chance to defend that backboard bounce.
And we heard Jorby talking about it. Will Method start to crumble now that they've given up their first goal in the tournament? Or will they keep on here? Cux off the back wall, follow up from Metsanaris. The attack still coming on from Method, shot from Magnus. The FlipSid boys are just flopping in their net, trying to block everything coming at them. And they're doing well. Cux over to Marky. Metsanaris reads that one, as FlipSid just barely holding on here.
I mean, you can tell how much pressure FlipSid feels like they're under, even with that hit. Marky, oh no, he feels backflips.
The follow-up from Metsanaris. Cux here there backwards, makes the save. That Batmobile just flicks it out. Now Cux, the pass over to Marky, collecting boost.
FlipSid just feels like they have no time. This Method team giving them no space to work
Double
with.
touch almost coming out from Marky there, but the dunk away from Magnus. It's an open net for him. He's going to score that one easy. Oh my goodness.
Magnus on the breakaway here. This was such a huge 50-50 win. Cooks, he should have flipped into that one. By not flipping, he allowed Magnus to just launch that ball right over him, and Magnus chases it down and secures that goal, and now Method take the lead.
Method, 1-goal lead here just past halftime. Cuxier waiting patiently for this ball to come to him. He does win it out and plays it across. Every single time you see Cuxier get the ball in his half, he plays it across to Marky. The passing plays coming out from FlipSid, giving them a lot more space than they otherwise would have it. But the touchdown from Magnus!
Magnus! He's been hitting shots like this all weekend long. Look at that setup. He goes up and just touches it with the underside of his car, just jettisoning that ball underneath the crossbar. What a play by Method.
And when you talk about 2v2, that is the exact play you want to see. Such a good, highly mechanical play from Magnus. And it gives his team a 2-0 lead here, or excuse me, a 2-goal lead.
And that setup too, you even see that passing play across the mid. So dangerous. Method, they're using each other very well, and FlipSid just can't recover it again.
Another open net for Method.
That's a hat trick for Magnus. Already you see Mets, Cookser was expecting him to put a shot in on net, but no, he hits it off that corner of the wall and it bounces right back out to Magnus. A hat trick for him, 4-1 in favor of Method.
Method just dissolving the FlipSid defense. FlipSid's got to get it together here. Minute 43 left, down by 3. Absolutely possible for these boys. Both world champions on the FlipSid team here. Marky retreating back. Magnus pushing this one along. Magnus gonna drop this one down. Marky to collect the ball here. You see Metsanaris rotate back. He reads that play perfectly, but gets hit away by the smack fire there.
Oh, no one might be able to get back.
Magnus does get back in time. Almost down to a minute here. Marky, great pass out to Cux. He comes in for it. It's an open net now for Metsanaris. Can he get their low boost? He does get the shot off, and it goes in for Method.
And now 5-1. FlipSid went all in on this attack. You see Cooks and Marky both going for that one. They know they need to make something happen, but still, the Method defense holding strong, just allowing that single goal. It's the only goal that they've allowed. And now 5 goals. This Method squad has been so
a kickoff goal!
Kickoff goal off the ceiling.
Magnus just right off the ceiling from the kickoff. Could we see a Brazil here, James?
We might see that against this FlipSid team that took out my tournament favorites, Cloud9, 6-1. They have 13 shots on net to just 6 for FlipSid Tactics. And Method have been just utterly dominating up to this point.
Here comes FlipSid trying to gain back some confidence. That one goes off the crossbar. Magnus pushes this back towards the midfield. Metsanaris not able to intercept that one. Cux here again passes it off to Marky back to their back wall now. Just trying to play this one out. Marky, good block on Metsanaris. Now Cux and Marky go for it. Marky gets hit all the way to the Method corner. with coming up on 30 seconds left in this game. It's been everything about Method.
Absolutely, Method doing such a fantastic job with the passing play, setting each other up, not allowing FlipSid to get anything going. Cookser, he's been playing a little slow. Method challenges everything, giving him no space.
Another one rings off the post for Markey. Cux fires off a shot, and they're gonna get a second one here. FlipSid getting some more confidence going into game number 2.
Yeah, still FlipSid, the only team to score on this Method squad. And you see Magnus, he hit the post there, wasn't able to land cleanly, and that bought some extra time for Cooks to be able to put in an easy shot on net.
Well, less than 15 seconds left for this one, and it's gonna be all but over for FlipSid here in game number 1. 10 seconds left now. Method has played so well here. 5 seconds left. Markey on the dribble towards midfield. Gonna cut this one across, trying to beat both of the Method players. It's not gonna happen. Magnus trying to keep that one up for one more goal. It's not gonna happen. Method take game number 1.
And in convincing style, absolute domination from this Finnish team. You see there's 6-2 over FlipSid, a 4-goal differential. That was incredible. Even though FlipSid was able to get a few shots at the end, it was still all Method in game 1.
Method spent most of that game in the FlipSid half. You see FlipSid with 10 shots and you go, yeah, okay, maybe an offensive attack for them, but they just couldn't capitalize on any of the opportunities. And in these highlights, it's going to be all Method. You see them just breaking down the FlipSid defense. A couple goals here in the beginning for FlipSid. They were able to get a couple off of Method, but in the end, Method prevails through.
Yeah, and especially Magnus, he started out very hot, and you see some open nets just from the fact that they were doing such a good job pressuring FlipSid, getting a little lucky here with that pinch off the ceiling. But really, Method, they convincingly won this game. They were the far better team in game 1. But in the Cloud9 game, FlipSid lost by 4 goals as well against Cloud9 and bounced back and won their game in overtime. If you are a fan of FlipSid, you know that they like to make it a nail-biting series. They usually wait until their back is against the wall before they start to perform. But here, their back is against the wall. If they lose, they're going down into the lower bracket.
Well, it looks like we're going to be getting into game number 2. Of course, this is a best of 3, so FlipSid, like you said, backs against the wall here. They need to win this one to avoid going down to the lower bracket. We're going to kick things off here. Method wins off the kickoff, but it's Markey back towards the Method side.
We'll see if FlipSid picks up the pace. Cooks was playing a little too slow last game. And Markey,
No, Metzenares clears this one out. Cooks here just trying to slow down the attack from Method here as they rotate back. Metzenares does get a fantastic touch here. The follow-up comes in. What a play from Method.
And this delayed flick, you see it here on the replay. Metz just jumping off the wall, going down, hitting it underneath. Markey misreading the backboard hit. That leaves it wide open for Magnus, but Metz going underneath the ball like that and flipping and just trying to scoop it past the defense. That's a tough play to read if you're a defender. You don't know if he's going to scoop it up or straight off the backboard, and Markey just didn't have time to make the play.
And Method just picking up right where they left off, striking first here. Metzenares goes up for this one, just trying to put that one up and over. Cux here. Magnus just waiting in the midfield. Not able to follow that one up. He does come in eventually. And again, he fires off a shot. Markey there to make the save, but no, he can't. Magnus puts another one away.
And this is another misread from Markey. Cooks, he gets the touch. Magnus puts a ball in. There's not a lot of pace on it, but Markey, he had plenty of boost for that save as well. So that was just a missed defensive play from Markey that leaves the net open, and Method punished them yet again, continuing their domination after game 1.
Not even a minute in, and Method up 2-0 in this game number 2. Threatening once more. FlipSid forced to just move that one away. Cux here goes flying out towards the midfield. It's Metzenares on Markey Duda here. Just trying to force this one in. Cux forced to make a tough save. Magnus plays this one across over to Metzenares. Always there to help each other out. Every time they touch the ball, they have a teammate there. So much intent with their passing.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell these guys are comfortable with each other. Metz and Magnus, they're a pair that's been together for quite some time. 10 months of continued teaming, and they've played together for even longer.
Well, you want to talk about duos, you want to talk about FlipSid. Markey and Cux here have been together for such a long time. Years.
Absolutely, the longest standing roster in Rocket League.
Markey on the backside here. Metzenares not able to beat that one, but Magnus reads him out here. And the missed touch from Cuxier goes off the post. Magnus to follow up. He's got a 1v1 on Cuxier. He puts it right over. 3-0 Method.
And the flip side defense just struggling to stay alive, almost getting scored on there. Cooks left in net. He had only 16 boost, wasn't able to make that save, and now a 3-goal lead. This Method squad, they might be the dark horse team of the tournament. They are just having their way with FlipSide.
A lot of people who have done their brackets say that this is kind of the sleeper team. People don't, they do underestimate this team. And with a 3-0 lead over FlipSide here in game number 2, they're proving it.
We saw Gale Force in their series. They scored 2 goals with just 7 seconds left on the clock. FlipSide has over 2 minutes and 40 seconds to make something happen. Time is running out, and that's not going to help him.
Another breakaway for Magnus. He's just running over FlipSide right now.
He's scored every goal this series. That's his 4th goal. The side flip from Markey leaves the net wide open, and that ball just bounces slowly in. Markey Duda can see his upper bracket hopes just fading away.
Just approaching halftime here as Markey is making me incredibly dizzy. Your scoreline for FlipSide, or Method, excuse me, who's up in this series. Markey trying to push this one along, trying to get back into this game. He fires off a shot, a little bit wide there as Magnus just trying to delay, get his teammate back. And Metzenaris is there to hit this one away. Markey in the Method corner. He's got Cuxier there to help, but just not able to do anything. It seems like they get in their attacking third, and then everything just kind of goes away for them.
There's been a lot of flailing by FlipSide, a lot of side flips, accidental flips, misreads. FlipSide, they just cannot get going. And, you know, it's hard to tell whether that's FlipSide just having a poor performance in their first series of the day, or Method, their defense is just that good.
Markey in the Method corner, trying to shove this one across. Cuxier is there, but hit away by Magnus. Cuxier beat this one in the midfield. Now Metzenaris just booms that one off the back wall of FlipSide. Now Markey, he's got Cuxier to help. The pass over to Cuxier. A shot from him straight at Magnus. Great positioning from Magnus there to make that save.
Cuxier putting that shot a little too far into the middle, but that's the right idea, that 1-2 passing play from FlipSide. But they still don't have much time to make 4 goals happen. Starting to look grim.
Oh, great touch from Cuxier there, but with a minute left, down 4 goals, FlipSide. They're hurting for a goal right now. This ball sitting in their half for most of these 2 games we've seen so far. Now Metzenaris 1v1 against Markey Duda, and he does him straight to the back of the net.
He just suckers in Cooks right here. Watch him make this player. It was Markey rather. Markey comes in and see you later. Mets just flips that one by. What a play from Method, and now 5-0. They are crushing FlipSide.
Metzenaris says, hey, I could score 1-2 after Magnus has put up 4 for himself. And a 5-0 lead for Method.
And that just shows you both members of this Method team so dangerous on both sides of the ball.
40 seconds left. FlipSide have not looked good in these 2 games. Method come out swinging.
It looks like Method might add another shutout to their record, and they still remain undefeated in the tournament. They're going to close this one out, and really, you just have to start asking, look as Mets puts in another goal. Is this the favorite of the tournament? This team and Gale Force, they've been looking very good.
Method is looking so good right now. A 6-0 lead over FlipSide, 2 world champions.
And really, you know, we were expecting a much closer series than this, but Method, they have not met an opponent that's given them any trouble in that one. They're bouncing off the crossbar.
Method trying to tack on another one. Not able to. And again, this is a best of 3, so Method is going to be moving on in our winner's bracket as they take this series 2-0 over FlipSide, almost putting another one away, but there you have it. Method finally ending the game, taking it over FlipSide.
Another 6-goal game for Method. That was incredible by them. These guys came here to play.
And not only that, 11 shots coming out from Method, a dominant performance in both games. You see FlipSid, again, opportunities with 6 shots, but just cannot capitalize.
Yeah, and if, I'm trying to remember if any of their shots were even threatening. It seemed like Method didn't break a sweat defending any of FlipSid shots. And as we take a look at the highlights, it's going to be all Method.
I feel like we're just repeating ourselves from the first game because Method just dominated this series. They look so good. Magnus had a great game too, scoring so many goals. He's going to be in all of these highlights here. Metzenaris only coming out with 1 goal, but Method, or excuse me, he actually finished with 2 goals. Method looked just so good in this game. They are definitely favorites moving on.
And you can see the frustration on Marky's face, and it continues there as Metz suckers him in and just flips it right by him. This game for Method, this was a statement.
I just cannot believe what we just saw. Method looks so good, and I can't believe that you take down 2 world champions.
Yes.
Okay? You have to play, now they move on, they have to play who?
They're going to play Gale Force.
Gale Force.
Yes.
Another fantastic team, but they look so good, it's not like, it won't even be a problem for them.
They haven't broken a sweat. We thought this was going to be a challenge for them, and we're going to bring up and take a look at the bracket here. You'll see they have just been 2-0ing everyone. Method not breaking a sweat, getting through Ghost the first round, which was a tough matchup. People were predicting that to be close. Sizzle Your Cobb, they breezed through them. FlipSid Tactics, 6 goals a game, shutting them out in the final game. It has been astonishing to see them play.
And these 2-0s are against fantastic players, top in both regions. Only giving up 1 goal. Method has looked so good throughout the entirety of the tournament so far. The question is, though, as they move deeper and deeper in their run, more pressure is on the line, more money is on the line. Can they keep it up?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about this tournament. We've been speculating who is the favorite going into this Universal Open Rocket League Grand Final, and I've had Gale Force as my #1 team since it was announced. I was expecting them to come in and do well, and they have proven that they belong. But Gale Force has had kind of a shaky start. K-Dop was slow to get started, but Violent Panda has been playing well all tournament. In the last series, we saw K-Dop really start to heat up against DapG. But Method, they have just been consistent and solid every single series, so I don't know what to expect going into that winter final.
Well, that's going to do it for us. We're going to send it down to Alex for an interview.
I'm here with our winning team, Method. The crowd's super into it. This is totally awesome. And they take out FlipSid Tactics in convincing fashion. Magnus, I want to come over to you first, my friend. Yesterday, you guys had a great day. You had an incredible day. You were able to go home, and you knew coming into today that you're going to be playing against FlipSid Tactics. So talk to me about your routine last night coming into today and how you're feeling going up against FlipSid.
Yesterday, when we were preparing for the matches, we mostly screamed FlipSid. So we were beating them in most of the games, so we were really confident today.
Certainly helpful. If you can scrim and do well, it's probably going to translate to the actual match. Very nicely done. I'm going to come over to Metz over here now. Your next match is best of 5, moving into the upper final. It's against Gale Force Esports. Can you talk to me about this team and how you're going to prepare for this match?
We have scrimmed them as well, like in both days, a lot. So we're really confident going into this.
So, well, tell me about those scrims a little bit. How'd those look against Gale Force?
We're winning.
All right. Well, they're winning on the stage and they're winning in scrims. That's Method advancing on to the upper final.
All right, guys, coming up next, we are going to have 2 North American teams face off for elimination. Sizzle Your Cobb, the team that has been fighting through the lower bracket with fun, and we have DapG coming up to face them. Let's catch you guys on the other side of the Universal Open Rocket League.